Coming up on Epic Friday Battles.
So for our first opponent we have Jett Fillmore. She's both elegant and exceptionally strong and possesses physical immense strength, speed, high intelligence, and athleticism. She can jump very high and also growl and roar. So for our second opponent we have Kitty Cat. Kitty Cat is extremely strong and highly intelligent. While she's dangerously smart too, she's also extremely powerful and a high-tier threat as she's extremely dangerous. Who will be the winner of today's episode? Jett Fillmore or Kitty Cat?
Who even are you?
Based on all of the information that we received about Jett Fillmore and Kitty Cat, the winner of today's battle is...
Warning. These episodes contain spoilers, and some of them may not be suitable for young audiences, especially children, so I would suggest you click off these videos if you don't want to get spoiled, or hear the foul language in these episodes. Also, some of it may be gruesome, and a little too much for some people. So once again, please, click off these videos if you don't want to get traumatized or anything like that. I'm warning you, people. But anyways, enjoy the episode and have fun with the series.
Hello, sexy people of the internet, and welcome to our second episode of Epic Friday Battles. In this series, I explain what the fight is and which opponent we have in each episode, while we also take requests. So if you have a battle that you want us to discuss about, even if it's a made-up battle or a fan-made battle, then put it in the comments down below, and we will take your requests for each episode at a time. And feel free to ask any questions if you guys want to, but only if you want to, though. And in case if you missed it from episode 1, last Friday we had a fight between Mega Shark and Super Shark. And Mega Shark ended up being the winner of episode 1, while Super Shark ended up being the loser, unfortunately. But oh well, better luck next time, Super Shark. Anyways, for today's episode, we had a request from someone that wanted us to discuss a fight between two muscular women, and they are Jett Fillmore and Kitty Cat. This is going to be an interesting episode, as you can probably tell. Who will be the winner of today's episode, and why? We will find out once we explain everything about our first opponent, which is Jett Fillmore, and then we'll explain everything with our second opponent, which is Kitty Cat. So let's do this thing right here, right now. So for our first opponent we have Jett Fillmore. Jett Fillmore is a major character in the movie called GOAT, released in February 13, 2026, and was directed by Tyree Dillihay. The plot for the film itself is that there's a small goat named Will Harris who wants to play in Roarball and be just like Jett Fillmore since he's a big fan of her. But the only problem is that other bigger animals make fun of him and they think he can't do it. But little did they know, he made history in Roar and became the GOAT, even though he's literally an actual goat. But hey, that didn't stop him from dreaming big, and he truly made a difference for not only himself, but also other small animals, since the other bigger animals would always say, "Smalls can't ball," but guess what? Smalls can ball, and you can thank Will himself for that one. Anyways, Jett Fillmore is an anthropomorphic black panther who's 9 feet and 1 inch tall with black fur with darker black spots, yellow eyes, long claws, and a muscular body that can crush anyone and use as a weapon truly. She's 33 years old and does not have an official weight, but I bet she weighs pretty damn heavy from the looks of it, since she's one of those muscular women. She's played by Gabrielle Union and has played Roarball for 20 years. She also plays for the Vineland Thorns since she's the face of it and was portrayed as the GOAT, meaning that she's the greatest of all time, even though she did not like Will Harris from the start after Flo signed him to be the 6th player for the team and, Let's just say that this wasn't what exactly Jett Fillmore wanted, and she thought that Will was a joke and that he was probably gonna get killed. But she was so wrong, and she eventually grows to like and respect him after he truly proved to himself that he really is the GOAT after all, even though she actually does not love or have feelings for him in a romantic way. Nor does Will Harris himself, but they're more likely seen as close friends and teammates as a brother-sister dynamic instead. So even if they fall in love with each other and they were now seen as a couple, it would significantly alter the movie's established themes and character arcs, while the fans themselves would have some words to say about it if this were to happen in the actual movie. But anyways, enough of their relationship and on with Jett Fillmore. She's both elegant and exceptionally strong and possess physical immense strength, speed, high intelligence, and athleticism. She can jump very high and also growl and roar. She absolutely does not play around and is initially aggressive, prideful, and arrogant. While she's also exceptionally fast, she's highly powerful and could absolutely beat someone up if she had to, while she also knows how to fight since she's literally a buff woman. Her personalities are arrogant and prideful, like I said already, driven by perfection, selfish play style, and character arc. And her strengths are brute strength and power, high speed and agility, intimidation and charisma, basketball mastery and high intelligence, while her weaknesses are difficulty with passing, arrogance and pride, insecurity and aging, and poor teamwork. She can definitely beat other small animals and other bigger animals, while she's also inspired by the career trajectories and legend status of real-life basketball veterans, including LeBron James. Pretty cool, right? Anyways, she likes raw ball, individual glory, performance and style, and self-reliance, and she dislikes water like many cat species. Sharing the ball, Will Harris from the start, losing her status and group projects while she loves winning, the spotlight, strength, and speed, and her personal style as she also hates being underestimated, her teammates from the start, and she definitely hates both main attraction and Flo after what they did and said to her and her teammates, especially Will Harris. She does have an unnamed mother who passed away years before the events of the movie, and her father is not mentioned anywhere at all. She also does not have siblings, nor does she have a boyfriend in the movie itself, but her mother told her to dream big before passing away, and she promised her mother to actually do that. Some other things about Jett Fillmore is that she's a diva, and she's sassy too while she takes things extremely seriously. So because she's more of a basketball player, she's technically not immortal, nor is she a goddess, of course, but her abilities are physical prowess, athletic mastery, intellect, and personality. Competitive achievements, roarball mastery, superhuman speed, brute strength, and acrobatic agility, while her natural and personal traits are feline combat skills, intimidation and charisma, and high intelligence, and that's pretty much all that we have about Jett Fillmore for now. But the GOAT movie itself is great, and I highly recommend it truly, trust me. It's absolutely awesome and meaningful, but anyways, let's see what our second opponent has in store for us. So, here we go, people. So for our second opponent, we have Kitty Cat. Kitty Cat is an anthropomorphic snow leopard that comes from a book series called The Bad Guys that was created by Aaron Blakey, and it's about a group of animal criminals named Mr. Wolf, Mr. Snake, Mr. Piranha, and Mr. Shark, who's one of my favorite shark characters, by the way, and they all try to become good, featuring humor, action, and illustrations with the total of 20 books from the series itself. While it also got their own movies, there's only 2 of them, and there's gonna be a 3rd one soon. The movies themselves are absolutely amazing and incredible, considering that the movies were produced by DreamWorks, which is an awesome and wonderful movie company known for their creativity and nostalgia films. Both of these movies are directed by Pierre Perifel, and they are absolutely worth the watch. Well, except for this prequel series from Netflix that's truly awful with terrible animation and horrible acting, while it has 2 seasons and 19 episodes. But who cares, though? Not me, but anyways. Her very first appearance was from one of the books from Book 10 called The Bad Guys, The Baddest Day Ever, and she's known as Agent Kitty Cat, or Pam, and she's a hero and a member of the International League of Heroes. And she also appears in Book 12, The Bad Guys, The One, Book 17, The Bad Guys, Ray of Light, and Book 18, The Bad Guys, Look Who's Talking. However, there are major differences between Kitty Cat from the book series and Kitty Cat from the movie series, as you can tell from these two pictures. The main differences between them is not only their designs and looks, but also their personalities, character traits, and you know the rest of it. In the book series, Kitty Cat is an anthropomorphic black/gray cat, while in the movie series, Kitty Cat is an anthropomorphic snow leopard. So they pretty much change the species and how the other characters are in the books, as you can obviously tell. But I'm not going to get into too much detail about the differences between the books and movies, just because. Anywho, Kitty Cat is approximately 6 feet and 2 inches, or 1.88 meters tall and 27 years old, as she weighs 171 IBEs. She's played by Danielle Brooks and has medium gray fur with darker spots, glowing sea foam eyes, short black claws, and a muscular body that she can use to punch and kick someone, since she's one of those buff women, and also the fact that she's a highly skilled fighter. She's also the leader of the Bad Girls and has 2 members with her. The other 2 bad girls that are with her are Pigtail Petrova, who's a Bulgarian wild boar and doom, also known as Susan, who's a black raven, and they basically listen and do whatever Kitty Cat wants and tells them to do. The 3 of them wanted to steal all of the gold around the entire world and become the most notorious criminals in history, as they forced the bad guys to help them out after they kidnapped them. But, it ended up going downhill for them, and the bad girls were arrested after that. What a bummer, am I right? But anyways, Kitty Cat is extremely strong and highly intelligent. While she's dangerously smart too, she's also extremely powerful and a high-tier threat. As she's extremely dangerous, she effectively uses her body as a weapon and capable of breaking someone's bones. While she can also headbutt somebody as well. She did manage to overpower Mr. Wolf, and she likely could beat the other characters, but she was ultimately defeated by Diane Foxington, really hard, honestly. Her abilities are brute strength, expert combatant and speed, strategic mastermind and leadership, intimidation and charisma, high durability, and sharp claws, while her criminal and strategic skills are expert combatant, strategic planning, technological expertise, metal forging, and manipulation and deception. She's also exceptionally fast, and definitely does not play around while she's a highly capable independent fighter, as she's also capable of beating and fighting larger animals. No joke at all. Her strengths are brute physical strength, expert combatant, high intelligence and strategy, intimidation and leadership, and durability and speed, while she's also capable of growling and hissing even though she cannot roar. But she can use weapons though, and she's also the main villain in The Bad Guys 2 movie, which was something I forgot to mention, but anyways, her weaknesses are arrogance and hubris, lack of improvement, vengeful obsession, underestimating opponents, and sociopathic tendencies. She likes stealing and power, being the center of attention/feared, commanding/manipulating, her crew, herself, and her reputation, while she dislikes her plans failing/disobedience, the bad guy's redemption, being underestimated, Diane Foxington or the Crimson Paw, and Mr. Wolf himself. She also loves power and control, gold and wealth, respect and fear, her own creations, successful heists, and lollipops, while she hates Mr. Wolf and the crew, Diane Foxington, being outwitted. Failure/underestimation, betrayal of the bad life, and being ignored or ridiculed. One thing you should keep in mind is that she truly knows how to kick ass and got them muscles and six-packs with her, since she's a muscular woman, or as some people like to call these type of women, muscle mommies. She does not have any parents, siblings, or a boyfriend at all, but she was more focused on her backstory, since as a child she was outcasted and took up crime after stealing lollipops from classmates. Finding she enjoyed the respect fear bought her, and she has several key philosophical points, while she can also throw things at people if she had to. So based on all the information about Kitty Cat, she's definitely not immortal, nor is she a goddess, of course. But it is officially time to discuss who will be the winner of today's video and why only one opponent stands out. Will one of these buff women win the fight? Or will it end up being a draw? Let's find out and get the answer right now. So, who will be the winner of today's episode? Jett Fillmore or Kitty Cat?
Who even are you?
They call me the Phantom Bandit. Nice ring to it, I guess.
Here's what we know about Jett Fillmore and Kitty Cat. The both of them are muscular women who don't play around at all, and they're both cats. The only difference between them is that one's a panther while the other's a leopard, and in reality, panthers and leopards get along with each other, but they also can attack each other too, no matter what species they are. That's a fact, by the way. Also, there are many differences between Jett Fillmore and Kitty Cat, as y'all can obviously tell and see. They're both from separate franchises, and they're also muscle mommies, as some people love to call them. But the differences between them is that Jett Fillmore is significantly taller than Kitty Cat, and she has whiskers, while Kitty Cat does not have whiskers, which is something some people didn't really seem to notice, surprisingly. However, some people see them as lesbians or as a lesbian couple, but the truth is, they're not technically lesbians, nor are they interested in each other at all, which is something those people should keep in mind. Especially the ones from the LGBTQ community, but honestly, who gives a shit though? But anyways, they're both canon in their own franchises, and they're talking animals too. But they have different personalities and different stories with them. Jett Fillmore is generally considered to be more stronger and aggressive than Kitty Cat, while Kitty Cat is generally considered to be more smarter and also has more skills than Jett Fillmore. Jett Fillmore is older and more capable than Kitty Cat, but they're both highly intelligent and skilled, while Jett Fillmore has a higher level of professional skills and technical tricks. Jett Fillmore punches and kicks more harder than Kitty Cat, and also has intimidatingly larger teeth and claws compared to Kitty Cat, while Jett Fillmore has a higher IQ than Kitty Cat does, but Kitty Cat is often compared to Tai Lung from the Kung Fu Panda franchise, and the reasons for it are pretty obvious. I mean, just look at them. They're both snow leopards, and they were produced by DreamWorks, while they're also seen as brother and sister rather than lovers, but they come from different franchises, and they're both not technically related while they're different from each other, for the obvious reasons. But I'm not going to get into too much detail about that just because, but anyways. Jett Fillmore roars and growls louder than Kitty Cat, and is more tougher than Kitty Cat is. But they're both capable of breaking bones, and they highly likely could kill someone because of how truly tough they are. So yeah, Jett Fillmore has more strengths and weaknesses than Kitty Cat does, while Kitty Cat has been around longer than Jett Fillmore has, and based on the information given, they're both definitely not immortal, nor are they goddesses, since Jett Fillmore is more of a basketball player type of woman, and Kitty Cat is more of a bad girl type of woman instead. But Kitty Cat is more of a fighter than Jett Fillmore is, while Jett Fillmore is a faster runner than Kitty Cat is, and she significantly weighs heavier than Kitty Cat does. Kitty Cat has more weapons than Jett Fillmore, but she's significantly more powerful than Kitty Cat is, while they're both capable of beating and fighting against smaller and larger animals. Kitty Cat is more bad and evil than Jett Fillmore, while Jett Fillmore is more good and more understandable than Kitty Cat. They both have different nicknames that they go by, so for Jett Fillmore, it's Jett, Captain Fillmore, the Sky Striker, Sweet Lil Pig, Kid, Lil Buttersnout, T, and Lil Rookie, while Kitty Cat goes by Kitty, the Phantom Bandit, Kitty Girl, Pretty Kitty Cat, and Snowflake. Not that it's really important or anything like that. But anyways, both of them have gained popularity, and they're famous in their own ways. They're both also well-known and recognizable, since they're both muscular women, obviously, or as some people love to call them, especially the simps muscle mommies. Why is that? It's probably best if you just don't ask about it or question it truly. Anyways, they also wear different clothes. Like for example, Jett Fillmore wears a sleeveless green shirt with shorts, a beaded halter with metallic slacks, a golden jersey outfit, and a red athletic jacket too. And as for Kitty Cat, she wears a dark gray hooded jacket with orange lining over a faded olive tank top, dark gray ripped jeans, a thick black belt. She completes her look with black combat boots or orange laces, an orange wristband, and a dark gray cap, while she also wears in the second Bad Guys movie a turquoise jumpsuit with a gold belt, heels, and a blonde wig, a specialized orange spacesuit, and a short-sleeved orange uniform. The both of them take things very seriously, and they're both sassy and divas, which make things a little more interesting. Also, their first designs look way different than they do now. Honestly. I mean, just look at their first designs. Jett Fillmore was originally going to be a large male Black Panther named Buckets, but was transformed into a female character instead. And the final design of the character was made just like that. Sure, she had to go through some changes from her original design, but the same would go for all of the other characters in the GOAT movie too. So for Kitty Cat, she was supposedly a large cheetah, but was instead changed into a snow leopard. While in the book series, she was a black cat, so yeah, she definitely had to go through some changes with her designs, and the same thing would go for all of the other characters in the Bad Guys series. But here's something that you probably didn't know about. Both Kitty Cat and Diane Foxington were intended to be criminal sisters or sisters in crime and allies in the book series, but in the movie, though, there was a deleted scene where the story played differently between the both of them. In this deleted scene, Diane Foxington tells Professor Marmalade, who is an evil guinea pig, that she didn't betray Kitty Cat, and she met her when she was only a child, and they never had anybody. And so they decided to become sisters in a best friend way and steal whatever they wanted until something changed. When Diane Foxington grew up, she realizes that what she's doing is wrong and that this isn't who she wanted to be. But when Kitty Cat found out, she felt betrayed by her and walked away. Even though Diane Foxington tried to convince her to go good together, but Kitty Cat didn't listen at all, and they both went their separate ways as Diane didn't stop caring about her, so it was more of a Optimus Prime and Megatron type of situation between them, and honestly, I can see that. Also, it's a real deleted scene, by the way, and you can check it out for yourself, along with many other deleted scenes from the first and second Bad Guys movies. But anywho, enough of that, and let's move on now. It's officially time for the moment of truth about who the winner is in the fight between Jett Fillmore and Kitty Cat. The fight between these two muscular women is definitely debatable and is a popular topic for discussion among fans, especially those who are into muscular women, and it's also debated within online fan communities, and now we have the real answer to who the actual winner is and why she takes the victory. So here we go. Based on all of the information that we received about Jett Fillmore and Kitty Cat, the winner of today's battle is... Drum roll, please. Jett Fillmore. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Jett Fillmore is the real winner of today's episode, and Kitty Cat is unfortunately the loser of today's video. So now we will explain why Jett Fillmore is the actual winner and why Kitty Cat is the loser in today's battle. Jett Fillmore wins against Kitty Cat primarily due to her superior experience and elite status as a roar ball player, despite her initial selfish play style, as she also has a higher chance of winning against Kitty Cat, however. Some fans argue that Kitty Cat could win due to her formal fighting experience, whereas Jett Fillmore's skills are primarily optimized for high-intensity sports. And another reason as to why Jett Fillmore wins in this fight is also because of evolving from a selfish superstar athlete into a team-oriented leader and overcoming her initial arrogance and learning to play with the Vineland Thorns rather than solely for herself. This shift allows her to maximize her elite skills with team support, clinches the Claw Championship, and earns respect since she has more respect than Kitty Cat does. But what if Kitty Cat won against Jett Fillmore, some of you may ask? Well, if that actually happened, It would fundamentally rewrite the power dynamics between two of the community's favorite animated feline powerhouses, and it would also represent a clash of totally different styles. So a victory for Kitty Cat would completely reshape how both characters are viewed, and other people would probably have some things to say about it, especially those who love muscle mommies and those who prefer one character more over the other. So yeah, the consequences wouldn't be too great if this were to happen. And besides, Kitty Cat has the lowest chance of winning, sadly, because she relies too heavily on direct arts and can't match Jett Fillmore's raw power and fierce ego in a brawl. She also loses against Jett Fillmore because of a massive disparity in a raw strength, size, and athletic build. And yes, I know that there are other opinions and theories on how she would have won and blah blah blah. I get that. But overall, the real victory goes to Jett Fillmore, and that's it. End of story. Period. So, yeah. But one thing I will say about both Jett Fillmore and Kitty Cat is that some people see them as sisters because of their looks and muscular bodies. And honestly, I can actually see that, to be honest with you. Despite both of these characters never met each other, nor have they gotten a crossover between each other or their own franchises, but still though, I truly see them as more like sisters than just lesbians, since that's how some people see them as for whatever reason. But once again, who cares though? But anyways, do you agree or disagree with the winner? Why or why not? Let us know in the comments down below, and if y'all have any battle requests that you want us to discuss about, then throw them down in the comments and we'll add them for each episode, I promise. Even though it may or may not take a while for some of your requests to actually get added into the episodes, either because we're rearranging some episodes, or it's probably because the episodes themselves are taking longer than it seems. So please be patient about it and wait until then. So yeah, also feel free to ask us any questions about the series or anything else in the comments, and we'll answer them all for you guys. Oh, and one more thing. If your request is a battle that people have seen and heard of before, then they count, and we will add them into our series just to let you all know. But anywho, thank you all so much for watching, and we can't wait to see you guys next Friday for episode 3 of Epic Friday Battles. Once again, if any of you guys have any battle requests or any questions, then feel free to comment them on this video, and we'll answer them all just for every single one of you. Anyways, see you all next Friday, and have yourself a great weekend, everybody. Peace out.